was listening to a pastor that said there's a difference between being single and not married. You know, a lot of people who are not married, they are just not married yet, and all they want to do is be married. And those people don't really ever find people. They'll be in sort of serial relationships, you know, and they'll never they just want to be with someone. It doesn't really matter who it is or why it is. So they're never really happy. And it's important to make sure that you check yourself on whether or not you're single or not married. Because if you're single, then there's a confidence about that. There's an understanding that I am who I am. And I don't need someone else, right? I am who I am without someone else. And, you know, I don't have any experience with abstaining and dating, but last year when Gabrielle and I were having, you know, marital issues and we were on the verge of divorce, there was one night where we had sex and it just felt so wrong. It was like, it was after maybe a week of arguing and just, you know, frustrations and struggles and, you know, being at each other's throats, but we were still having sex in the midst of it. And one night we had sex and I just felt so just guilty. I felt like I shouldn't have had sex with my wife, and it was weird. And I had thought to myself, you know, it was after a while. I think I had moved out with a friend for like 2 weeks, and then I moved back in, and then, you know, we were arguing again, and we had sex, and then this moment, I'm like, I think I need to do something. And so one thing I knew I needed to do was move out again. I needed to be done with whatever the fuck. I needed to not have the ability to have sex with Gabrielle. And the only way I could do that effectively was to move out at the time. And then recently a friend had mentioned that she was going celibate. You know, she was just practicing celibacy. And she was, you know, she's gorgeous, and it just was a shock to me. I was like, oh, you're like, that's strange. Just why? And she's like, oh, you know, just trying to clear my thoughts. And she spoke to me about it a little bit. And so when I was in this predicament, I was like, you know what? I should try it, man. I should just do it and really make it happen. And when I did it, I was like, it's not going to work unless I tell Gabrielle, like, because you know, I'm just gonna be like, oh, I don't want to have sex with you, and she's gonna, you know, think all sorts of shit. Like, who the fuck knows what she's gonna think? But so I had to be straightforward with her about what I was doing, and she didn't take it lightly, but she at least, you know, agreed. I mean, what was she gonna do? Like, you know, the only other option would be to rape me, and like that wasn't gonna happen. So like, So I did it, and I was like, I'm gonna abstain. I'm gonna not think about sex for 30 days, yo. 30 days. Can I do that? And I didn't know, man. I've always had trouble with sticking to routines, sticking to like workouts and shit like that, and like staying committed to stuff like that, just because I had a very chaotic childhood and moving around a lot, and there's just a lot of moving parts. So I never really had to finish anything. I never had to see anything through. So now when it came to doing this celibacy thing, I'm like, damn, the only thing I've ever stuck with was like being vegan. Like I committed to be a vegan, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then I just stay vegan. But like now I'm gonna do this with sex. Like, is that gonna be something I can actually do for 30 whole days? Like, not think about sex. And the other thing was to cut out porn. Like, no sex, no porn, no sexual thoughts. And then I moved in with a gay friend. So sex was so far removed from my world that all I had to do was think about me and think about my life and getting my shit together, because I didn't want to be in this argumentative mode anymore. I had shit I needed to get done, man. And it's 2019. The year was hectic, and so I did it, and what I realized is that I had so much time now. Like, I had so much time, and I would go out and I was confident as shit because I didn't need to leave with anybody. When I would go out to the club, I would just go out and be partying and just have a good time just because I'm out having a good time. Like, fuck you, I don't give a fuck if you don't talk to me. Like, and I had so much more confidence. And tell me why more women were coming up to me. More women were interested in me and attracted to me just because I wasn't like giving away my energy, giving away that life force. Now I had it. I was holding on to it. Now I got that shit. I got the life in me. And that's how my life was. And I had time to think, and I was able to write and just get my life focused. And boy, did I need to get my life focused, because I was going into the most chaotic year that anybody has ever experienced, 2020. Like if I didn't have my shit together, man, I couldn't have survived. And luckily I did this celibacy thing, and it worked. It really worked. It allowed G and I to both refocus and just kind of find ourselves again. And then when we came back together, because we didn't have sex for 2 months, which was the longest. Like, I mean, Gabrielle and I had sex all the time. So like, this was the longest we had gone for sure, 60 days, like not touching each other, not being intimate with each other at all. But it allowed us to refocus and recognize that we're actually best friends at the core of it. We are a team, and we rely on each other in a way that is beyond sex. And so our relationship was able to move beyond sex, which I didn't expect that part. I just wanted to kind of reorient myself. I was wasting a lot of time on porn and like just not doing anything fucking productive. I was doing a lot of productive shit because I get a lot of shit done, but I could have been getting a lot more shit done. And so again, I don't have any experience with being celibate, practicing celibacy, and then going into dating people, because that sounds counterproductive to me. Because if I'm gonna be celibate, then I don't want to date anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to think about sex. I don't want to think about partnering with somebody, because when I go to a club and I leave with no one, I don't want to feel that depressed feeling that I always used to feel. That shit is so fucking annoying. Every time I leave the club, like, yo, man, like just trying to parking lot pimp and just feeling like a fucking loser because I'm not going home with anybody. But instead, if I'm like, nah, I'm like just gonna do my shit. It's my night. Like, nah, I don't want to go home with you, bitch. Like, nah, I got other shit to do. So like that, it allowed me to just recenter myself, recognize who I was, which was perfect, because my wife needed to know that she has a husband who knows who he is, right? And is confident in who he is. And I need to know that my wife is confident in who she is, and that my wife still loves me despite the fact that we're not having sex, despite the fact that there is no, that we will not have that, let me call it cheap, lustful pleasure, right? That's not working as a temporary Band-Aid solution. That's the sex is something that's granted when there's actual peace in our relationship.